Hey, welcome to the CEO Insider Podcast, brought to you by YTexas. My name is Sandy McIlree. In today's episode, we're going to talk to the CEO of Hilti North America, Avi Kahn. If you were at the Relo Awards back in September in Dallas, you may remember him. He was our master of ceremonies for the event. Hilti's a Liechtenstein-based international tool company. They moved to Plano from Tulsa back in 2015, and Avi became CEO in January of 2017. In this episode, we'll discuss how Hilti has become the model relocation to Texas, the community service that Hilti performs, and how they were recently named one of the 15 coolest offices to work in. All that and more. Enjoy the CEO Insider Podcast, brought to you by YTexas, with the CEO of Hilti North America, Avi Kahn. Avi, it's great to have you on the podcast. And by the way, you did a fantastic job back in September. You're the master of ceremonies at the Relo Awards. Nice work, by the way.
Thank you for the compliment, and thank you for having me on this podcast.
You're welcome. We got a lot to get to today, but before we really get started, I have to ask you about a couple of recent announcements that you have to be excited about. The first being that Glassdoor named Hilti U.S. headquarters in Plano, Texas, as one of the 15 coolest offices to work in, along with the best place to work. Tell us about this. How'd that happen? How'd you win it? What do you attribute it to?
Yeah, we're really excited about both. First, the main reason we're so excited is everybody knows there's a fight for talent right now. It's a tight labor market, and we constantly try to build our employer brand and attract people to the company, and we know many of our future team members go on Glassdoor to evaluate us, so that's great. That helps us with that fight for talent. The other reason I'm very excited about it is Glassdoor is obviously an employee review website, and everything there and our success there is all based on unbiased reviews from our team members, mostly positive, and we're thrilled to make our first entry into the list into number 61, and very grateful for our team members' contributions. Our only way to participate is we try to respond to the comments. We try to be what Glassdoor calls an engaged employer, but that's the extent of what we do, and that's part of being a transparent company. The 15 cool offices, you know, our involvement with YTexas started when we moved here 3 years ago, and part of the move was to also establish a very modern and welcoming work environment, so we're really happy to have won that award, and that's a testament to our team's work and also the partners that we have in setting up the office.
You talk about the fight for talent, and I think having a good reputation out there in the public amongst people talking is a really important thing to have, because if one person tells them that's a cool place to work, that goes a long way.
Absolutely, and I think that's the power of Glassdoor is we all use reviews in our life all the time for where we're going to stay and where we're going to eat, and a key decision where you're going to work. And these is exactly as you said, one person's opinion to say that it's a great place to work, they're engaged in what they do, and also then being independently selected as having a really cool work environment is very encouraging for us.
What do you think is cool about it?
I think it's first the openness of the work environment and the ability to see what everybody's working on, to share the work environment, and to work together in teams. We are set up in these neighborhoods where cross-functional teams can sit together. We also incorporated a lot of Hilti products into the building in very creative ways. And we have a lot of open spaces with massage chairs and nap pods and game tables. So we really try to find creative ways to create a workspace that's accommodating to our team members. We have nursing rooms for nursing moms and wellness rooms for people that need some quiet time, phone room if you want to step away from your colleagues and make a quiet call. So we really try to build this entire space around the team and around our brand in conjunction.
I was recently in the offices of a startup, and the CEO and I were joking a little bit as we walked by because they had a ping pong table. And I said, every startup's got to have a ping pong table. And we kind of had a laugh about that, but also how the workplace environment has really, really changed over the last 10, 15, 20 years.
It has changed a lot. And, one thing is to have the ping pong table.
Yeah.
I think just as important is to create an environment where the employees are comfortable to play ping pong in the middle of the day.
Right.
And what we try to do also by offering flexible work arrangements where people can telecommute for part of their time, depending on the type of job they have with us, is to establish a culture of self-responsibility.
Right.
And if you're happy with where your work is, if you're satisfied with your day, and you need some time away from that challenge you're working on at the moment, then it's perfectly fine to play ping pong or foosball in the middle of the day. If it just becomes, as you said, every startup needs one and it just sits there,
Right.
but a year later the paddles are still brand new, then I don't think it's really achieving what it was meant to do.
Man, I want to work at your place. It sounds great.
Thank you for that compliment. We are really determined to be a great place to work. And your response you just gave me, I get it a lot when I speak externally.
Mm-hmm.
Hilti is really a great place to work. Our brand is not that well known out of construction, and that's why we work so hard to build that employer brand. But thank you for saying that. We are hiring, by the way.
Well, I will find an application. The second announcement from Hilti is that you become, why don't you tell everyone who you've become the official tool provider of?
It's the American Airlines Center, which is jointly owned by the Dallas Stars, where I'm very proud to also be on their ownership advisory group, and the Dallas Mavericks, which is also a partner of ours. So through the partnership with the American Airlines Center, providing them our very productive tools and solutions as they flip from basketball to hockey to concerts to other events, sometimes in the same day. This is one of the busiest facilities in America. Mm-hmm. We're very proud through that to also support two very important parts of the Dallas community in both these fabulous teams that help also bring the Dallas name across the country and across the world.
YTexas, along with a lot of other organizations, have really stamped Hilti as the model relocation to Texas. You talked about relocating here just a few minutes ago, but a lot of that success has really come from getting involved in the community. Can you tell us how and what Hilti has done to achieve such a wonderful reputation?
One of the things we learned once we got here is the great giving culture that exists here in North Texas. Per capita, it's one of the most generous regions you can find, and we realized that a great way to ingrain ourselves in the community and to build our employer brand that I already talked about would be through community involvement. So working with organizations like YTexas and others, we're able to get exposed to the philanthropic opportunities that are here. I myself serve on several boards, but so do members of my team of different non-for-profit organizations. We get our team members involved because we give them 2 paid days a year for community service, and many of them are involved in that, and with that we get exposed to even more opportunities, and we try to do it in areas that align to what the Hilti Foundation, our charitable arm, works on, which are very much tied to education, housing, and driving diversity, which we have taken the lead on, especially in construction, around gender diversity.
The Hilti Family and the Hilti Foundation seems to have a mission to serve the areas in which they do business. I know that a member of the family recently visited you in Dallas. Can you tell us about her visit?
Yeah, I think your observation is absolutely correct. The Hilti Family is at the core of our culture. They have dictated that for almost 80 years. And it's a wonderful culture that they've been able to create. We were thrilled to host Michelle Hilti. That's the third generation of the family, is what she represents. Her grandfather founded the company, and we were thrilled to have her here in April, spending time in the community, meeting local non-for-profits, engaging with our customers, engaging with our community partners and our team members. And she left very impressed with what I said before, with the level of giving, the level of community involvement, people that are determined to help South Dallas and bring even more opportunities there, people that are very determined to work on improving the Dallas school district and other school districts and ensure our kids here in the North Texas region have the best future. So it was a wonderful week that she spent here. We were proud to to bring the family here, but I'm also really happy that she got a glimpse into this wonderful region.
Avi, there's rumblings out there that we are facing an economic slowdown. Are you seeing that?
We're not seeing that. That's
okay.
Maybe the short answer. The longer version would be, first, if we look back, of course, the last 8 years have been great for our economy, for construction, and specifically for Hilti North America. We're on a great run, growing our sales, improving our profits, engaging with our customers, and we're very grateful for that. Heading into next year, we're very confident that we will have another strong year, and I believe also the economy will remain strong. All of the customers that I speak to, I just came back last night from San Francisco, their books are full, the work is committed and funded, and they don't see that stopping. And we feel very confident about 19 and even into 20 based on what we see. Specifically also in Texas, a lot of the growth has been fueled by companies like us, and that's why the mission of YTexas is so important. The governor also mentioned that in his video message to the participants in the award gala you mentioned earlier, that organizations like YTexas that help companies move here help make such a big impact on the state of Texas and on our North Texas region. Having said that, I think it's clear that this long run of 8 years will eventually come to an end. Mm-hmm. Will it be another crash? I don't think so. Will it be a leveling off? That is our prediction at this point in time, and perhaps there'll be different types of construction than what we see today. Maybe less on the residential side, more on the infrastructure side. We see multiple airport projects and sports facilities and other areas that we're very excited about. So we believe there will be an opportunity still also in the years to come.
Hilti's done an amazing job of creating relationships with other Texas companies who have also relocated here. Kubota Tractor is one that comes to mind. They visited your headquarters through an event held at YTexas, and now you both are collaborating. Tell us what you guys are up to. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, Kubota is an outstanding company. It's one of those companies that I think should all be proud to have them choose to have their North American headquarters here in our region. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of similarities between our companies and a lot that we can learn from each other. And what we did together with Dan Jones, that runs their legal, human resources, and other departments that are under his responsibility, he came over with select members of his team, and I had select members of my team around the same area that he covers for an experience exchange, for talking about some of the challenges they face and how they deal with them, what processes do they deploy for people development, for recruiting. It was a very fruitful day. We actually agreed at the end that we should reciprocate with a visit to them. Great company with great products that we actually see on job sites, but also in our agriculture, in the other areas that they serve, and we felt there's a lot we can learn from them, and vice versa. So we were very happy to have that day with them.
Jacobs Engineering is also a customer of yours, and so it was nice to see you hand their CEO Steve Demetrio the #1 ranked Featured 50 award at the Relo Awards back in September.
It feels great to be able to recognize a great Hilti customer and a great business leader. It's impressive to see the work Jacobs has been able to do over so many years in our industry. And companies like Jacobs that are headquartered here is part of the reason why we chose Dallas, because we want to be close to such important customers. And we're very proud that we're able to work with their project teams to drive safety and productivity on their job sites, not just in Texas, not just in the U.S., but actually around the world, because Jacobs is, like us, an international company. It was actually an honor to recognize a leader like Steve Demetrio with his amazing background and his contributions to Jacobs, and really impressive to read what his own people say about him, which is what I did in preparation for that award, about his level of involvement with the customers and with his teams, and how he leads this company so successfully. So for me, that was clearly a highlight of that event.
I interviewed Steve after he received the award. Just a solid guy.
A great guy, a great family man. He was there with his wife. They're certainly very proud of their children and what they were able to achieve. And we're fortunate to have such company and such a leader in our region.
Your 6 years in Canada exposed you to hockey. You're now in Dallas, and you've become friends with Dallas Stars great Marty Turco. Tell us about that.
I met Marty Turco through my involvement in Dallas Stars. He was at the time also leading an organization called C5 that provides leadership training to high school students with a wonderful success rate that all but one have gone on to college. One didn't go to college because he joined the Army, which great success. From there, Marty now leads the Dallas Stars Foundation, and we partner with them on different community events. We sponsor their skate with the Dallas Stars and Hope Kids, and you see what a great organization the Dallas Stars is. They allow kids that could never get on the ice due to different health conditions to get on the ice, be it on a sled, be it guided. They bring in their new coach, a wonderful man, Jim Montgomery, that moved here with his great family, has 4 kids. And so it's been a pleasure to, through Marty, be able to see the charitable side of the Dallas Stars and to see what an impact he created by choosing to stay here with his family. He is from Canada, but even though his playing career is behind him, he's staying here and being really a leader in our community.
Avi, is there anything in the upcoming legislative session here in Texas that you're paying attention to? Anything that could affect your business?
Well, the Dallas Regional Chamber that I'm involved with has done a great job staying on top of the legislative agenda and strengthened their team with having the right leadership to also keep aware of the legislative agenda and ensure it's business friendly. I also serve there as the chair of the International Task Force, and of course also being responsible for the U.S. subsidiary of an international company. We watched discussions about commerce very carefully and tried to understand the impact on us. I think on the local level in Texas, we would like to see a continuation of the success story of Texas, of attracting businesses here, of remaining pro-business and business-friendly, and that's where we try to influence. One of the things I'm most proud of in the Dallas Chamber is just the initiative to get people to get out and vote. Whatever your opinion is, just get out there and use that. A wonderful opportunity we all have to influence that. That's something that we drove previously, and I think will continue into the future.
Avi, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your support of YTexas as well.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on your podcast.